But to allow everything to be as it is also one part of the teaching that I find people misunderstand the most. A lot of people become afraid of allowing everything to be because they equate it with some sort of inactivity, some way in which one would become disengaged from life, from existence, from what's happening. Some way in which people are afraid if they allowed everything to be, then they wouldn't be able to respond to life in a wise and appropriate way. But this is to misunderstand the teaching. To allow everything to be as it is not a goal. It's not an end. It's a foundation. It's the foundation from which true and wise action takes place, a way of responding to the moment, or to life, or to the most common daily situations you find yourself in, can actually arise from this foundation of allowing everything to be. Because it's not until you really are allowing everything to be that you're actually out of the egoic state of consciousness. As long as you're struggling with what is, with this moment, with what arises in this moment, as long as you're at battle with what is, then you can never go beyond your conditioned way of seeing and perceiving things. You can never go beyond the egoic state of consciousness. So think of allowing everything to be as it is as more of a foundation from which insight can happen and true and wise activity can spring from, a true and wise response to life that comes from spirit rather than from ego. Now, to allow everything to be as it is also a definition of meditation, of the meditation in the way that I teach it. It's not only about meditation. You can allow anything to be as it is. And if you do that, you'll find that there's new and creative and wise ways to respond to events in your life that you may not have imagined before. But in terms of meditation, again, many people, their notion of meditation is really some form of control, some form of manipulation. But we really don't get to the natural state, which is what spiritual enlightenment is. It's discovering the natural state. We don't get to the natural state by controlling ourselves. We don't get to the natural state by unnatural means, by means of inner manipulation and control. We get to the natural state by allowing everything to naturally be right here and right now. It has nothing to do with time. There's nothing to attain. There's nothing to perfect. There's just the question. And this is how I want you to think about this first basic application of the teaching, is more as a question. What happens when you allow everything to be as it is? So if you were to meditate, if you were to sit very still, quietly, and you were to ask yourself, what happens in this moment when I allow everything to be as it is? What occurs? What change in your inner experience happens? How does your view start to change? And not only what happens when you allow everything to be as it is, but also an inquiry of, am I allowing everything to be as it is? Because often there can be a state of stillness. But if you ask the question, am I actually allowing everything to be as it is, sort of a deeper layer of relaxation happens. You become conscious of more subtle ways in which you're holding on and grasping or trying to control. So look at this part of the teaching as a question more than an end that you're trying to attain. Don't try to attain allowing everything to be as it is. This would be a misunderstanding of the teaching. Take it as a point of inquiry, of exploration. Again, what happens when I allow everything to be as it is? And this literally becomes a form of meditation. Allowing everything to be as it is the deepest form of meditation there is, where the ego has completely let go into things as they are, into this moment as it is. Allowing you to be as you are, whether your mind is busy or quiet, whether you feel good or bad, whether you're anxious or at peace. Is it possible to allow this moment to be exactly as it is? And what happens? What begins to occur when you do? And to reiterate something I said at the beginning, you'll find by allowing everything to be as it is, that there is a natural state of stillness. This goes back to the teaching on be still. Allowing everything to be as it is a way of being still. And it is a way of noticing and recognizing stillness to be the very ground of your being. Stillness is an essential aspect of who and what you are. It's not a state that you attain. It's literally an aspect of who and what you are. So this is the first real application of the teaching.